Hello everybody, my name is Cade and welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about whether or not right now is a good time to buy a house or if you should wait. Now, I sell real estate out here in Southern Arizona for a living full time, and I come across a lot of people right now in the current economy and market who can't really figure out whether or not buying makes sense for them. I hear a lot of people want to hold off for a couple of years to see what the market does. And then I have a lot of people who just don't believe in buying at all. And so I just wanted to make a quick video kind of breaking down where we're at, as a whole when it comes to the current real estate market, and then what some of the kind of bigger corporate America thinks when it comes to home ownership right now and whether or not it's a good decision. So today we're going to be going over a blog written by bankrate.com, and it's titled, "Should I Buy a House Now or Wait?" And so let's dive right into it. There are three key takeaways right off of the beginning of this blog. The first takeaway: the current housing market is causing many prospective buyers to wait for better conditions, but there's no guarantee that it will improve considerably anytime soon. Okay, so that's the first key takeaway that they're telling us, and I'm going to kind of piggyback off of this in a later part in the video where I'm going to use market stats to show us from today and 10 years ago where we're at kind of as a real estate market goes. Okay, second takeaway: if your credit score is strong, your employment is stable, and you have enough savings to cover a down payment and closing costs, buying now might still be smart. Okay, so now they're saying that if you're financially well off, and you're strictly holding off from buying just based on the fact of it's a bad market, that may not be wise. Okay, so that's their second point. Third key takeaway: if your personal finances are not ideal at the moment, or if home values in your area are on the decline, it might be better to wait. So now they're kind of wrapping this up with saying that if you're not financially in a good position, or the real estate values in your area are going down, it might be better to hold off. Okay, so with that in mind, let's just kind of dive into some of the metrics that they go over in this blog. The first thing that I want to point out is the median sale price of an existing home in the United States has hit an all-time high in May of 2024, okay, so just a couple months ago, at an astonishing $419,300, according to the National Association of Realtors. Okay, so the average selling price of an existing home in the United States comes in at $419,000. That is crazy. It's almost $500,000. And so what I want to say there is that that's for the average of the whole United States, almost $500,000 for an existing home. If that doesn't tell you where we've been heading, then I don't know what does, right? That tells me, again, not just as a real estate agent, but as a consumer, prices are increasing, and they sounds like will continue to do so. And I'll use some metrics here in the later part of the video. Second key thing: according to the Fannie Mae Home Purchase Sentiment Index, released in June of 2024, so last month, a full 86% of consumers believe that right now it's a bad time to buy a house. So it's interesting. Most people right now think that it's a bad time to buy. And so my goal for this video is to give some metrics, some data, and just so that you can compartmentalize, think for yourself, and make better informed decisions. That's my whole goal for this. I'm not trying to steer you one way or the other, simply going over data. So then the article starts to go into this portion, which says, after being at a constant disadvantage for the past few years, things have actually started to look a bit better for buyers in some respects. For example, days on market figures are up, giving buyers more time to make an informed decision. The National Association of Realtors data shows that homes typically spent 24 days on the market before selling in May, up from 18 days a year ago. And available housing inventory, while still low, is rising, up a healthy 18.5% year over year. Okay, so what they're saying is that not only are we seeing an increase in inventory, okay, so more homes coming onto the market, but the homes that are coming to market, we are seeing the average days it takes to sell that home increasing. And so what they are seeing at nationally is that the market slowing in a bit. So for buyers, this is absolutely great, because if you remember back in 2020, 2021, it was such a crazy market that if you weren't submitting multiple offers within hours of a home going on the market, you probably weren't buying a home. And so sellers had all of the advantage back in those markets. And so now what we're seeing is kind of a more a steady market, to where, you know, buyers and sellers kind of have, you know, both kind of good opportunities and skin in the game. It's not so heavily beneficial for sellers or heavily beneficial for buyers right now. It's kind of at a mix, which is good. May's national housing report from RE/MAX, which is one of the biggest real estate brokerages in the country, also reported a sharp uptick in new listings, up nearly 40% from May 2023. Growing inventory offers more options for home buyers, said the president of RE/MAX. If inventory keeps bulking up and mortgage rates don't change, prices may eventually start to soften. So, is it a good time to buy a home, or is it better to wait on the sidelines in the hopes that either prices or rates see a significant drop soon? And are there still concerns about a possible recession? Here are some key considerations to help determine the way forward. So they're really just asking three main questions here. Do you have excellent credit? Anytime you're borrowing money, start by checking your credit score. That's wise. So the best deals on mortgages are going to be when you have a good credit score. 2, have you saved enough for a down payment? Most people right now we're seeing don't have funds for a down payment, and so they're using other options. Their argument here in this article is that if you have a sizable down payment, then it's probably wise to buy. 3, are you planning to stay in the home for a while? Okay, this is probably my biggest concern when it comes to buyers, okay? I live in a market where we do have quite a bit of different, you know, military and all these different kinds of career opportunities where people tend to move a lot. And so what we see often is people buy a home, they stay in it for maybe a year, and then they go to sell it. The problem is they don't have equity at that point. And so my biggest question for anyone who's considering buying is, are you planning to stay in the home for a while? Because if you are, then it probably makes sense to buy. If not, you really want to kind of weigh out your options to see if it makes sense for you. So, should you buy a house now or wait? I guess all of this is really coming down to is, are you financially in a position where it's not gonna completely wreck your life to go buy a home? And then 2, the biggest point I think, do you plan to stay in that home for a long period of time? Here's the reality when it comes to mortgage rates and inventory and all of that. None of that really matters, right? It matters when you go to buy, and it matters how you position yourself with offers and looking for homes. But when it comes to the decision in your mind as a consumer, should I buy right now? That should not be a factor, right? Because then what you're doing sounds to me like you're investing in real estate, right? You are saying, oh, you know, I'm gonna go buy a property when the market's low and try to build up on appreciation. Like, your intent to buy is for the wrong purpose. And for most people who are purchasing homes, it's because they're going into the home for a long period of time. They want to use it to build generational wealth, and they plan to, you know, live out the home and grow a family there and stay there long term. So their main purpose is not, I'm going to go into this property and invest in a piece of real estate that's going to make me 10% on my money year over year. If that's your mentality, then I would say, yes, pay attention to the market, the days on market, where the market's headed, interest rates, and all of that. If you are just buying a home because maybe you're sick of renting, you want to maybe be close to your family in a certain area, and you want to just own your own place, forget the interest rates, forget the days on market, forget the amount of listings. Just make sure you're financially in a good position, and make sure you plan on staying in the property long term. Then from there, look at, okay, what are the interest rates today? How can I get the best deal? Okay, where's maybe a listing that's been on the market too long, and can I get a good deal on it, right? But those should not be deciding factors for you when buying a home. If those are deciding factors for you to buy a home, you're probably not a good potential buyer candidate, and you probably shouldn't be buying anyway. If those are your concerns, just go invest in real estate and rent it out, and don't go buy a home. Just doesn't make any sense. So those are my 2 cents. Before we wrap up this video, I briefly want to go over my market. I'm here in Southern Arizona, specifically Pima County, so Tucson and the surrounding areas. And I just wanted to give you guys a quick market snapshot of where we're at. Okay, so as far as June of 2024, so last month, we had about 4,000 listings. 4,000 listings active on the market. Okay, 10 years ago, in July of 2014, we had 7,300. 7,300 active listings. Okay, so I want to do a kind of a 10-year difference because the last few years have just been so crazy, they're not really realistic numbers. The listing price back 10 years ago on average was about 190. Right now, we're at about 385. Okay, so a substantial increase over 10 years. For the absorption rate, this is your month supply. How long, if no other homes came on the market, would it take for all of the inventory to completely sell out? So right now, we're at about a 3.5 month supply. So it would take about 3.5 months for all the inventory to sell out. This suggests to me that we're still in a pretty good seller's market and we're creeping into kind of a more balanced buyer-seller's market, okay? And in 2014, we were at a 5.8, almost a 6 month supply. So we're on the verge of a very good buyer's market at that point, okay? So it's a very different market at that time. And then as far as the days on market, in 2014, the average was 80 days. So it would take, what even is that, almost 3 months to sell a home back then. And right now, here in Pima County, we're at 46 days. So we're about half of that. And so I just want to give you guys some real numbers, real raw data to show you how we're positioned in the current market versus, 10 years ago. And the point being, there's a lot of news out there, a lot of fluff about what kind of market we're in. It's a terrible market, this, that, the other. And the fact is, we're not really. I mean, when you look at the past 10 years, we're actually in a very solid real estate market right now. And so if that's a concern for you, really look into the data, talk to someone who knows their metrics, and allow that to help you make a better informed decision. All right, guys, that's going to conclude it for this video. If you have any questions or concerns about maybe getting into real estate, feel free to reach out to me directly. All of my info will be in the description below. If you agree or don't agree, or maybe have second thoughts in regards to what I went over in this video or what Bankrate did, feel free to comment down below. Please consider subscribing to my channel for all of your real estate content. And with that, I will see you guys in the next one.